Mommy, the circus is going away. Yesterday I rode by here on my bicycle and you could hear the kids screaming, riding the different rides. Pretty view down this long street. It's Laeses or something like that. Under construction, but certain portions of it are completely finished, like this one, and then the portion beyond is under construction. But it'll all be this beautiful arcade with these lovely trees. And that, at this point, closed cathedral or church filled with shops. I wonder how they survive. Cute little piece of park art, perhaps expressing the burdens some humans carry. And another look at another portion of this, what's going to be a beautiful street with driving on two separated lanes by that arcade of trees. Very beautiful layout. It looks like a fractured oval, like an egg. Not quite sure what it symbolizes. There's nothing associated with it, way of interpretation. Here, a gentleman from either the 19th century or a little bit earlier. And a view down what would be a very beautiful park-like esplanade. Now we're on Vilnius Street, which slices at an angle off of Lazares, or whatever it is street I'm on, and slices down into Old Town. Off the main drag just to look at this side street, because it had these old brick buildings, which I believe was probably the original style of those buildings, and then later on covered up. And down the end of the street, a modern building punctuates this antiquity. We'll pause for just a minute to take a look at some nuances of style. This is Kazy, K-A-Z-Y-S, Grinius, G-R-I-N-I-U-S. Entered off of Vilnius Street. We came from the left, going that way towards Old Town, deeper into it, and came across this lovely park, which we'll walk through, devoid of other humans. This building is the centerpiece for the park, whatever it is. Here on this wall, some old photographs, so we'll take a look at this. 1930s fire department. Looking little roadster, eh? The street that is under reconstruction now, that my hostel's on. It's great that it'll have a rebirth. The 1930s was the interwar period, and for this country, unbeknownst to them, a short respite from tyranny. The railroad station, from which I walked up along what is on our left side. Notice the trolley car tracks. Notice the little impromptu bridges across the swill ditch for drainage. Conductors on all of the, or insulators rather, on all those power poles. Gathered along the side of the river to look at the effects of the flooding ice water. There's a picture of Kazy Grinius, the president of the Republic. 1924, they could hardly imagine the horrors yet to come. But even now, it's a pretty building. Nice detail features. These trees covered with little blue lights. I don't know what this covering is. I assume it's to prevent things from going up the tree, but this is Antanas, A-N-T-A-N-A-S, Smeton, S-M-E-T-O-N. here at an intersection on the continuation of Vilnius Street. I'm looking to the right down that street, down this one, and I'll go down both of them and then return to this spot just to cover it all. Probably an important administrative building. It has that look to it. A curious bit of Dietrich's. The irony is, in places like this, you look for anything novel. Interesting, aren't they? We've just come down Vilnius Street to this intersection, which has two squares basically. This church, which I'll look at more closely in a moment. And this street. And then it opens up into this even broader square with two major churches at least. And we'll take a few minutes to explore all this. It always seems so amazing that they could take the tremendous resources it took to build such edifices from the people. The resources, I mean. And it's even more poignant now that these seem to be almost abandoned. These are nicely carved wooden doors, relatively new, I would say. Certainly not abandoned. A very glorious looking church. Richly embellished. Not only with color, but with the statuary that we see down at the altar. Notice the variations in color of these huge pillars. Beautifully maintained church, even though you can see evidence of its deterioration. And maybe preludes to restoration. This certainly has to be one of the grand squares of Kaunas. With three churches nearby and another not far away. Off the square now, at the far corner from where we first went in that other church. And you'll notice that coming up in view now is still another church. A tribute to a man who apparently was the foremost and forerunner of animated cartoon type media. A museum here apparently to his achievements.